Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Perks of Being a Teacher. This week I'm going to be chatting with you about 3 of my favorite icebreakers that I do either at the beginning of the school year or at the beginning of a semester. Some of these you may have seen in a previous video that I made last year on how I started a semester, but I really do love these 3 that I'm going to be chatting with you about, so I thought it wouldn't hurt to include them in an additional video. So every teacher does different things to start a school year or a semester, and I do encourage you to run activities that you feel best suit your own teaching style. So these are things that work for me and definitely may not work for you based on the way you like to run your class or based on the different subjects and ages that you teach. So I teach high school and I teach grade 11s this semester, and next semester I have grade 10s and 11s. So that's the age group that I'm going to be doing these for, but honestly I have done all 3 of these icebreakers for junior high students as well. So the first one that I do with students, and this is also the order that I do the icebreakers in. So the first one is a getting to know me presentation, and I'm going to be showing you pictures on the side of what that presentation looks like. I choose to do this presentation to start because usually on the first day, students can be nervous to share in front of their peers. And as much as I want to get to know students as well, I think that they deserve the opportunity to get to know me. So I start with just a very general, fun presentation about myself so students can get a sense of some similarities that we may have with one another. And it also allows them to see I'm a human too. Even though I'm their teacher, I do have many different hobbies and interests outside of the work that I do with them, just as they also have different hobbies and interests outside of school. The next icebreaker that I do with students, and again, this is the order that I do, is a sheet that's called Hey I Am. So this is individual and students fill it out on their own, and I'm also going to put a picture of it right here for you. I do this next because in my mind, I'm okay, I've just shared about myself, so maybe now students will feel a little bit more open to sharing about themselves. The questions that I include here, they can skip any of the questions they want. In no way do they have to fill out the whole thing. Even if they choose to leave it blank, that's totally fine with me. The one piece that's probably my favorite of this sheet is the part that asks students what their favorite songs are. So right there is an opportunity for you to actually build a relationship with students and to build trust and respect with one another. So when students record some of their favorite songs, then usually on the weekend I'll go and I'll make Spotify playlists for each of my different classes. So then on the Monday when students are working on something, I'll put the playlist on, and seeing students' reactions when they hear songs that they put on that sheet is amazing. They're so surprised that I actually took the time to make playlists, and it does take time. But it's so worth it because students can see, oh, my teacher actually read this. They actually care about music that I'm interested in. And now I'm in class and I actually get to listen to music that I enjoy out loud with my peers. So the third and last icebreaker that I'm going to share with you today is an icebreaker called Hey You There. And I titled it that because first day students don't know each other's names, and I really didn't like being put on the spot as a student, being called on to share something about myself in front of an entire class. But this activity allows students to have one-on-one exchanges with one another, and it's also scripted in a way. So for me, sometimes I'm so shy and I'm not the greatest at coming up with conversations. So by giving students prompts to respond to, and I'll put pictures here so that you can see what the slides look like. So by giving them prompts to respond to, in my mind, it takes the pressure off for students to come up with a conversation on their own. And the questions that I have in this presentation are really pretty simple to answer. They're supposed to be fun in nature. And the way it works is students will walk around the room and I'll be playing music out loud. When I pause the music, students need to find a student to talk to answer the question that I display. So the question will be like displayed on the projector for everyone to see. And once they answer the question with one another, then I start playing the music again. They walk around and then I pause the music and then they find like a new person to answer the next question with. And after we go through all of the questions, students like take a seat and then I go through the slides. I answer them about like what I would respond to, and then some students are like invited to share their responses. And usually between those 3 icebreakers, that will take about like a whole class. So that's like an hour and 10 minutes. There are sometimes other icebreakers that I do, but these 3 are ones that I pretty much do consistently. If I have a bit of a quieter class, I may choose to save that "Hey you there," so the last one I shared with you. I may choose to save that for like maybe like later in the semester when students get to know each other a little bit more. So I hope that you maybe like learn some of these icebreakers. And if there's ones that you do that you absolutely love, comment below, because I'm always hoping to learn and to discover new things to do with students at the beginning of a semester. I really hope you enjoyed this week's episode and subscribe, and I will see you next week on Perks of Being a Teacher. Bye everybody.